Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Command Cheat Codes. This is a rebranding of Command Classroom because I got told by multiple people that nobody wants to show up to a classroom. So we've changed the name of the training and we're going to change the format a little bit. Each day we have a training here. We're going to be going over something that's hands-on, real, involving Command, and we're going to learn how to build it from start to finish, and not only build it, but implement it. So today we're going to be going over what we went over, what was supposed to be a training yesterday for Farming for Leads, where we went over how to build a postcard in Command Designs and then send it out through campaigns. And campaigns has like a hyper-specific targeting function in it once we get to the end of it. So we're going to be going over all of that today. You know something hilarious? I wrote down an address for this and I forgot it. I'm going to run real quick and grab that. All right, and the reason we have a listing here is because that's the kind of postcard we're going to be building today. Now, as far as any other type of postcard, open house, just listed, looking for listings, advertising for buyers, you can also build those. Designs has an option. We'll look at that in a second. But today, just for demonstration purposes, we're going over how to advertise a listing using a postcard. So to start, let me get a screen share up. We're going to jump into Command. And starting from the home page in Command, we are going to go ahead down to the Designs tab. Third one from the bottom. And remember, if you're ever not sure which tab I said we were working on, you can always click that little red KW box up at the top, open it up, and it'll tell you what each of the applet icons mean. So Designs. And from Designs, we are going to select Create Design, blue dot, upper right corner. Remember in Command, if you're creating something, more often than not, the button to actually make it is going to be in the upper right corner right there. So blue button, Create Design. We're going to click on that. And it's at this point that it's important to select our proper format, because later on when we get to campaigns has options for sending out email, sending out social, and sending out direct mail. If we were to create something in email format here in Designs, when we then go to campaigns to send it out, and we want to say we thought we were making a postcard, so we made it, and we want to send it out as a postcard through direct mail, the design won't show up for us to use, okay? So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to select print. We're also going to, because we have a listing we're going to be using, I'm going to select import photos and text from a listing. We're going to select next. It's going to ask us to find our listing. Mine is 507. I love this name. Tinkle Street. Tinkle. There it is. 507 Tinkle Street. Borrowing this listing from Jenny Alders, our lovely OP. So we hit select on that. And then it's going to pull us into the builder. Give it a second to load up. All right. So starting out, whenever we get dropped into this builder, it's going to put us in the auto create tab, which is, there's a video on this in Command Classroom that I've gone over. The auto create tab uses AI to auto create these flyers and posters for you. Unfortunately, there's no postcard formats in the auto create folder. So over here on the left, we're going to have to come down to listings. I've got a for sale. So I'm going to select for sale down here, and we're going to look at the templates for that. And then up here at the top, where it says for sale, we've got all these little buttons. I'm going to find standard postcards because that's what I want to send out, a 4x6 postcard. So We can start from blank, or we can use one of the templates here. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to use one of the templates here. For those of you following along, you can use any template here realistically, but these first 6 kind of all have the same information on them, and I'm going to be using one of those. So if you select a different one, you're probably not going to be able to follow along because there's going to be things that I'm clicking on that aren't even available. So just a note of reference. You can select any, but you might not have the same information. I'm going to use this one here. I like this one with the full red bar down the side and the one picture on it. So we're going to select use for that. When you hover over it, a little red pen should pop up. We're going to select use. And it's going to pull us into where we can actually edit things. So designs is really cool and make things really easy, especially with that whole option for importing listings, okay? What we can do in designs is, unlike, programs like Canva, Photoshop, PowerPoint, other kind of graphic design programs, if you want to, or like, let's say we pull up this template, we love where the picture is already situated, right? We don't want to really change where that is, and we want it to be the perfect same size. We want it to be the perfect same resolution, the same position, everything. All we have to do to put our photo there instead of the template photo is just click on it. So we get a blue box around it, right? We're going to come over to the left. We're going to, where we have all these options here. One of those options is KWLS. We're going to select that. And then from here, we've got all of the photos of our property. Looks like this one might only have one photo. It's a pretty new listing, so that's understandable. But we're going to go ahead and we can use this recycle button, or the refresh button. I heard somebody call it recently. We can use that little swaparoo, click it, and there you go. Boom, just auto puts it over there. Same size, same format. You'll notice there, if you're paying attention, that what happened was it came in, it sat for a second, and then it shifted down. If we want to move that, all I did was double click. So let's say we want more of the lawn than we do the sky. We double clicked and we can see the whole picture now, and we just drag that up so that way it's good, right? So, and we select done at the top, and we have repositioned our image. Okay, we don't just have the ability to do that for photos. We can do that for some of the text here as well. This address, for example, this is not 123 Spruce Road, City State. This is, if we go to the listing details, still on the KWLS tab, listing details, scroll down a little bit. This is 507 Tinkle Street in Winters. So, not only is it in Winters, it's in Winters, Texas. All right, so now we've got the address properly put in there, the photo properly put in there. Now we have to make sure our bed, bath, square foot, and price is all correct. It's at this point that I regret to inform you that you can't actually do the replace thing easily with this. It's something that's annoying about designs, but when they built these templates, you'll see when we select over here, it's all one big block of text. It's got one big blue square around it, as opposed to little blue squares around the numbers. The way Netris usually asks agents to input bedrooms and stuff, and the way it pulls from the MLS, as we can see there, is it's just a number, right? So if we want to go ahead and we want to say, okay, I want to replace the 3-bed. Let's hit the replace option. It's just going to be the number 3. So we need to make sure and just go in and do that manually. It looks like what we're dealing with here in this listing is already a 3-bed, 2-bath. So we don't really have to change anything there. Square footage is different. It is 1374 square foot. So I'm just going to backspace that. 1,374 square foot. And the listing price is 120,000. 120,000. So now we've got all of that information correct. What year was this home built in? Because that's also an option here. This home was built in 1955. So we're going to change that, 1955. And then that's it. Looks like for some reason that when I hit Control Z, it erased my address. So we'll just reselect that really fast. All right. So now we have all of our information correct. Does this look okay? No, because we still have our DBA name down there that says just KW DBA name. Luckily, the swap function does work for that. you select on this little blue logo, it'll automatically pull you to the logos tab over on the left. All you have to do is go ahead up to my assets, select on that, and then just select a logo to swap it around with. And we can use the recycle symbol again, and you see there, it gets swapped over. All good. So now that's the front page. It's a postcard. Postcards have front and back pages. Down at the bottom right of our screen, we have pages, bracket 2. We select that, it'll pull out a pop-up window, and we can look at the back side of this postcard, which has a whole bunch more stuff for us to do on it. Now, Thomas doesn't take his own advice, unfortunately. I don't have my marker profile set up correctly yet. So all of this information here, when I select it and go to text, and then go to my assets, all I have here to swap in is my phone number, language code, and my bio, which is just a placeholder period. So yeah, don't really have anything available there. But what you guys should be able to do, and what you should have, is you should be able to put in your name, your app link should be available there, your email, all that stuff. If you have a team logo, you can swap it here where they've already got this one pulled up for us. If you don't have a team logo, you can use the up in the top right there, the little garbage can, to just get rid of that. We're going to want to swap the DBA name again. We just want to make this look good. We want to make it look professional. What's all this gray text here for? This is to explain a little bit about the property. Luckily, when we pull in from the MLS, we also pull in the description. So it's going to be down there at the bottom most of the time. And if you go ahead and hit the recycle, there you go. Look at that. And so most properties actually that I do this training on, they have a much longer bio or longer property description. That's okay. You'll just, when it reshuffles it, when it puts it in, it'll be longer. You just have to delete it to a certain point that you like, right? So once this all looks good, I'm going to stop right here just because, you know, example purposes, I don't have my picture or anything uploaded, and it would take too long for me to do. If you do need to upload it, all you have to do is go to whichever it is. If it's your picture, just come to images, my assets, and there's a little red plus right there. So it's easy peasy. We're going to name this before we leave. Excuse me. We're going to name this before we leave. We're going to name this postcard training, just so that way I know what it is. And then we're going to hit done. It'll ask us to save. Yes, we'd like to save. And now it'll pull us back out to command, and we can see right there, postcard training, the placeholder's there, but our design should be right there. So in order to get this properly pulled out and into campaigns, there's one step that we need to do. And this is why the training went off the rails yesterday. And I had to kind of take a break and figure this out because it's not necessarily straightforward. So follow with me here. I'm going to go real slow. If you need to pause the video or rewind, feel free to do so. I'm going to go real slow, explain everything really easily. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to select download up at the top right. That's going to pull up just this little download window. We need to select a certain file type. The file type is going to be PDF for printing. Only PDF for printing will work when we go to send it out through campaigns. These options that get set up work. The include bleed and the use manual bleed 0.152 inches. That's fine. You don't have to worry about that. Downloading as CMYK just is something as in regards to printing quality and colors. So we don't have to select that. That's your own personal preference. If you know what that means and you want it to be better or worse, or I don't know what the change really is, honestly. It's just something pretty much specific for each printer. So we're going to keep these options, and then down in the drop-down box where it says select pages, and this is where it really gets funny, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click down on the drop-down. We're going to unselect all pages. So click that one right there. And we're just going to select page 1. We're going to close the drop-down window. So now we're only downloading page 1. And the reason we have to do this is because when we get to the Campaigns option, you have to upload the front image of your postcard and the back image of your postcard as separate files, which is annoying, but it's just how the program works, and this is how we're supposed to work it. So we're downloading just page one, PDF for printing. Double check all your download options are good. Should look like mine here on the screen. And then you hit download. Easy peasy. You should see the download pop up in your browser right there. So there's mine. Okay, so that's done. So now we have to do the same process for the other page, page 2. So let's do it again. Download PDF for printing. It saved it from last time I did it. Include bleed, use manual bleed 0.152 inches. Select pages, not all, just page 2. And download. So exact same function twice over, one for page 1, one for page 2. A little confusing, but this is going to get us where we need to be. So it's at this point that we can now be done in design. We've made our thing. It's beautiful. We love it. It was pretty quick to do. And now we're going to be ready to send it out. Let's hit done. Let's get back to command. And let's go up to campaigns here. We are going to go ahead and from this dashboard, again, top right, where the create button lives, we're going to hit create campaign. And remember, because we were specifically making a postcard, we're going to specifically select direct mail. If we had made an email, we're going to select email here. If we had made a social post, we were going to select social post or paid ad. So direct mail. What are we doing? Like I explained at the beginning of this training, we're going to be advertising a listing. It's going to ask you to enter a campaign name. My best practice is I like to keep track of these using the property type, the property address, sorry, and what kind of, like, what's the reason for this campaign. So we're going to use 507 Tinkle. I'm going to put a dash and I'm going to say for sale postcard. Just kidding. I'm going to say faux sale post art because my keyboard does not work. There we go. All right. So title, goal. From this point, we can hit create campaign. And we're off. So it's going to ask you to pull in a listing because this already has preloaded templates for postcards into it, but they're not the best. They're not as snazzy as the one we made and looks like. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to X out of this. No worries. And from here, we come down to content. We're going to select upload a custom template. When we do that, the listing option should disappear as well. We're going to scroll down a little bit and you'll see here, this is what I was talking about earlier with the front and the back being 2 different upload options. So we're going to select browse. Going to find our downloads, postcard training without the bracket 1 is my first page. So I'm going to open that. And here's, I don't want everybody to freak out when they do this step. What it's going to open up in the preview window is weird. For some reason, and I can't figure this out, it's opened up the preview for your PDF that we've downloaded in the Google Chrome, if you're using Google Chrome, PDF viewer window. I don't know why, but it's not going to print like this, I promise. You're not going to be sending out postcards that look like you took a screenshot of a web page. That's not what we're going to look like. It's just going to be the design. It's just that for some reason, when we pull in the PDF, it looks like this. So we do that for the front. We do the same thing for the back. Postcard training bracket 1, open up. We're going to see it does the same weird window thing, but the preview looks good. If we want to select the preview to look at it over here in this little window that we have, it's just this drop down at the top, front, back. Both of those look good. Got the KW Synergy and my property description showed up, so I know that we're good. All right. So now we can go ahead and we can hit save on that. And if we did everything right, if all the fields are filled out and there's nothing missing, we'll get a green checkbox. Next, we move on to the market center to make sure that's okay because it's a mailing address. We need to confirm that this is good. Texas 79602 because that's coming out of our market center. Verify. It's going to be like, did you mean this? For some reason, it just wants it all capitalized. So yes, I meant that. All right. So green check mark on market center. We're going to move down to targeting. When we select targeting, it's just going to ask street address and if you want to target your database. So that's the thing. We can send out options if you know that there's people who live in this neighborhood nearby here. If you're certain that this is like a neighborhood you're farming, maybe, you can set the street address for whatever neighborhood you're farming. And we're going to do, I'm just going to use best practice, I think, is just to use the property address itself. So we're going to do 507 Tinkle Street, Abilene, Texas. I think it's it's actually not Abilene, it's Winters. See, this is why you're supposed to double check things. This is why it's good to have the preview there, because I would have totally missed that. Winters, Texas. The zip code is 79567. So we'll go ahead, we'll hit save. We've got a check mark on that. So all of the options here are green, check mark, checked off. We are good to go. Let's go ahead and configure targeting now. We are ready to move on to the next step. And this configuring targeting is where it gets really cool. All right. Let's go ahead and move forward. Are you sure you want to create this campaign? Heck yes. By the way, if you back out at this point, like you don't have to send the campaign out right away. If you're not certain, you can make it, and that's just saving the campaign. So this is our actual targeting. So number of homes to target, we'll select that, 200. Property type, all single family, multifamily. Well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, think about this from the goal perspective. What are we trying to do with advertising a listing? We're trying to entice buyers to get in contact with us, right? Who would want a relatively cheap and inexpensive 3-bed, 2-bath home? Maybe somebody who's living in a 2-bedroom apartment in a multifamily building that is looking to get out and grow their family, just get into a house, stop with renting. So we can select multifamily. And it's going to show us that there's not many multifamily homes in Winter. So it's going to tell us only 23 homes in the area match your search. So that's okay. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go back. We're going to select all. I'm actually going to zoom out here. And it's at this point that we can select bedrooms. So again, we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house here. So what if we sent this to bedrooms that, or properties that only had 0 to 2 bed and only had bathrooms isn't an option, but that's okay. And what if we wanted, year built? So if you're sending out something for new builds, you can select this. So that way it goes out to people who maybe are living in an older home and want to get an upgrade. Square footage we can check up, right? Looks like most homes in Winters are 3 bedrooms or more, 2 bedrooms or more. Fascinating. Anyways. All right. So last sold for between what and whatever. Year last sold. That's a good one we can do, because maybe we want to target people who NAR says every 10, I think 3 to 7 years. People are looking to buy a new home. So what was 3 to 7 years ago was about, oh goodness, 2017. So let's say anybody who sold in the last little while, right? So we can see there are only 94 homes in the area that match our search. Okay, so maybe this is the point where we go back to the last area here, right? Because I'm not finding a whole lot of homes to send this to. So maybe we, actually, no, never mind. We're not going to go back. We're just going to use this option here up at the top to change where we're sending this to. So I'm actually going to send it to we can also draw on the map. That's what the radius and the draw option is for. But I'm just going to use the offices, 1700 Industrial Boulevard, Abilene, Texas. So maybe we want to entice somebody from Abilene to move out to Winters, right? Maybe that's what we're looking for. Maybe this is just where our database is and we want to send out to people, or this is the neighborhood we're farming, right? So we can go ahead and now we can get sort of granular about the bedrooms, right? Maybe this is an only 2-bedroom deal. Maybe it's a multifamily, right? Plenty of those in Abilene, single family. Let's target those guys. Let's do square footage, your build, your last sold. All right. So the point is our targeting, we can get really specific about it. You can also, and then once we're done, we've selected everything, you can go ahead and send copy to company address. From there, we can select next. You enter in your payment, and it's got some details down here for you. And here we can see the front and back preview that it's actually okay, that it's not the weird, Google Chrome PDF view or whatever it was earlier. It's going to come out okay, and it's going to include the postage on it there for you. So first class postage is included. It's going to be $148.74. What else do we have included in this? We have same day processing. If you submit your order before 3 p.m. on a business day, your mailers will go to production in that same day in a fulfillment center nearest to your targeted area. USPS distribution, mail stream within 2 days, estimated delivery 4 to 6 business days. So a note about that, if you're using this for open house, do it a week in advance, okay? Target, if you have an open house set for the 15th, get that mailer ready and sent out on the 6th, all right? So that might take a little bit more planning, but that's just the way the system works. So you type in your email, your card number, and then you go ahead and submit. And that is how we do a postcard in Command. It's that simple. You send it out. People are going to, if you have all your information there, hopefully people are going to text call you back, right? And again, as far as targeting and stuff goes, it really depends on the property you have, right? I had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Winters, not necessarily, a 4-bed, 3-bath, 350, an upgrade type home, right? This is more of like a first-time buyer's home. So it depends on what you have to work with, but there's a lot of options you can use as far as targeting to really narrow down your search and get super precise about it. So this has been how to make and send out a postcard hyper specifically in Command. Go ahead, run off, use this, send out some postcards. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email, text, or call me. Yeah, that'll be it. Hope to see you guys Monday at 9:30 when we go over something in Command cheat codes. See you guys then.